Yes guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to do a reaction video on the person of choice, Sam Sulek. As a coach and as a men's physique competitor, if you look at my body of work, I think I know a thing or two around sculpting a physique. And today we're going to look at Sam Sulek in particular. Could he be doing more? Could he be eating cleaner? Could he be training harder? Could he be maximising certain elements to take his physique even further? Who knows? But we're certainly going to find out.
We've been awake since 8. Haven't had anything to eat. I'm starving. 1,000 calories in the milk jug. Let's see how many. That's 64 grams of fat, 240 grams of carbs, and what? 70 grams of protein.
1,000 calories for meal one, fair play. No wonder he's built like a fucking rhino.
Not an animal. I'm not going to chug it, but I'll sip on it.
For me, liquid calories are the last resort. Get your quality nutrients from foods. Yeah, he can fuel his body a lot better than that in terms of maximizing his performance and in particular his digestion, but also a lot of sugar there. A lot of sugar. That's the big factor there. Try and avoid too much sugar and he's gone balls to the wall first thing with a carton of sugar.
If I'm trying to gain weight and I want to be really full, I'd say at least like 300-400 carbs before I'd want to lift.
Really?
Yeah.
300-400 carbs before he wants to lift that. I rate that. He's obviously a man of performance, a man of wanting to lift some heavy weight and maximize his time in the gym, and I agree with him on that. I train after meal 2 and a pre-workout, so you're talking 250-300 gram of carbs. I'm not as big as Sam, but yeah, there's some education there from him. He's clearly understands the principles of needing to eat big to get big and also sustain that performance and apply progressive overload. So let's see what he picks for them additional 200 carbs.
I think just a big ass bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and milk will be perfect.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Rule number 1 with post-workout cereal. Per 100 gram serving, make sure it's not above 10 grams of fats. In Sam's case, given his breakfast, I'm sure he does not give a fuck about that. But let's just see. See what if he breaks the macros down.
So you had 240 there, so you need another 150 here is what you're trying to get?
Yeah, but I'm not really like that specific about it.
No, I know, I'm just saying. So 150.
But he's gonna have 150 gram of Cinnamon Toast Crunch here. Easy digestible carbs, they're not gonna sit on his stomach heavy. Great choice of pre-workout, but again, these are gonna be caked in sugar. So his sugar content is driving further up. But if you break the science down, the best time to have sugar is pre and post workout because it spikes your insulin and it replenishes your glycogen stores. He's not just putting this Cinnamon Toast Crunch first thing. I mean, he may as well have after the milk, but he's breaking things down and he's putting the right meals in it at the right time. So yeah, I like his approach. It's unique. It's not one I'd opt for my clients. Go and get yourself some milk and go and have Cinnamon Crunch pre-workout, but I can see why he's doing it because it's easy digestible. It's gonna sit nice. He's gonna be able to train without any digestive stress.
Do you eat all that on leg days? Like before you squat doesn't bug you?
I mean, you know, any lifter worth their salt should know to go to the bathroom pre-legs. Right? Like,
I agree. And also to add value to that is make sure you're eating your pre-workout before leg day 90 minutes before because you want that shit digested. You don't want to shit yourself while you're squatting or on the leg press. But looking at Sam's fat content at the minute, there's every chance that this guy's going to shit himself. So he needs to be very careful and eating within that window.
come close once on a leg press.
Shit yourself?
I thought something was coming out.
So he's nearly shit himself once, just after leg press. I'm not surprised. Yeah, lesson, Sam, if you're watching this, just make sure you cut that fat content down, or otherwise there'll be a video surfacing soon of you shitting yourself after the leg press.
Post-workout, you know, any of my viewers they're gonna recognize this, the cluster dextrin shake. So, go a little extra this time. So 100 grams worth of cluster dextrin, and then 2 scoops.
That's the first that I have ever in my nearly 10 years of coaching heard anyone on a serving amount of 100 gram of cluster dextrin, which is just carbs. I'll give some clients the carb powder intra workout. The reason we do it intra is because it's going to give them energy during the training session. The highest I believe I've ever gone is 70 gram, and that's a guy who's really struggling to gain weight. This guy's not struggling. He just clearly wants to be a mass monster, which I respect and I rate it because if you've ever drank carb powder, you will know that shit sits heavy on you, even if it's 50 gram. But Sam has abolished the rules of 50 to 75 gram. He's jumped straight in at the deep end at 100. So as he said, his viewers will know what's in the shake, 100 gram. He's a man of consistency. And I believe, well, I hope that's his only post-workout meal. That's what I'm hoping.
So this is before even the actual post-workout meal. but I want to.
So this is before the post-workout meal. So this guy's having 100 gram of carbs, 2 scoops of protein, so no doubt 50 gram of protein. You're talking a good 600 calories here. And this is not even his post-workout meal. No wonder this guy is fucking massive. Of course he is. As if his fat content wasn't high enough for the day, the guy's in Five Guys. I rate it, it's my choice every single time I have an off-plan meal, which is once a week in the off-season. Call me boring, but I know what works. And if you look at my body of work with clients, I also know what works. And as a men's physique athlete, hopefully that's turning pro, I do not eat that shit 7 days a week. And this is a full day of eating. I eat it once a week, and I'll vary it. I'm excited to see what he's ordering though.
Cheeseburger with mustard, lettuce, ketchup, and actually that'll be it. Mustard, lettuce, ketchup, and a medium fry and a large drink.
Medium fries and a large drink. It's a little bit tame. I expected better. Double patty, large fries, milkshake. If he gets a soft drink here, he's let himself down. I feel like he's built himself up.
What time is it now? 10-ish? Yeah. Took a huge nap after we got back from Five Guys.
So he's finished Five Guys, took a huge nap. If you're consuming over 100 gram of carbs consecutively every single day, you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna feel sluggish. You wanna prioritize your carbs within a realm of 0.3 to 0.8 per pound of body weight. Anything above that, over longevity really, is gonna cause heart problems, it's gonna cause digestive issues, and day to day it's gonna make you feel not as productive. What does shit food make you do? Feel like shit. Perform like shit. So I think overviewing his nutrition, there's a lot that can be cleaned up here. This to me does not look like a full day of eating, it looks like a food challenge. So being critical as a nutritionist, I would never ever set a client's diet up like this. It's not gonna be good for his skin, it's not gonna be good for his energy, his performance. There's a lot that he can improve on here, and I think from a nutrition selection standpoint, he could refine this, he could sharpen the blade, and he'd look better, he'd feel better, and he'd perform better.
Still got a little more calories left. Because right now I'm at about
He's not
47.
done. Oh shit, I thought he'd done.
So that plus, I don't know how large these cups are, but maybe 4 cups of milk.
So I think his daily fat intake here is over 200 gram. Do the research on that. If you look at the literature from a nutritional standpoint, over time, it's gonna lead to heart disease. It's gonna lead to a lot of health pullbacks and negatives. So if you watch this video and you take inspiration from it because of how big he is, great, but just don't take the nutritional advice on board and apply it to your day to day, because that's not going to be optimal, especially over a long period. If I was eating that much food with that lack of quality nutrients, I would feel horrendous every single day. So we've seen how he fuels his workouts, and if I was to get hold of him and coach him from a nutritional standpoint, I could improve Sam tenfold. Now, as a coach, could I improve his training? He looks like he moves a lot of weight. Does he move that weight correctly? Would I improve his training? Would I be able to train with him and keep up with him? Who knows? But we're gonna find out.
The tricep warm up on the cables. But, I did some face pulls, did some single arm push downs, a little bit of chest activation. So let's do a couple sets of 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate.
So he's done some questionable pre-mobility to get his chest warm. And we're starting off with one of my least favorite exercises for chest. One that I've actually not done or programmed for a client for a lot of years. We've got the incline barbell, targeting the upper clavicle here, so.
Fail a bench no spotter. That shit is fucking freaky. But feels pretty good so far.
Sam just justified why I don't really program this movement. One, because it's so taxing on the CNS. Like you're putting a lot of stress unnecessarily on your shoulder joints here to unrack the weight, and then if you fail, you're fucked. You've got absolutely nobody there. If you've got a spotter, great, but in Sam's instance here, it looks like he's training solo. So for a lot of people who go to the gym, they don't often have that luxury of a training partner or a spotter, and this is an exercise that a lot can go wrong. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen the video of the guy tearing his pec off in Benoos, but
Let's go. I'm here. You've got you.
after that, for me, this was an exercise that just strictly got removed. But yeah, it's not one I like to program. There's far more optimal movements.
I guess if you haven't been watching, the last time I did a chest day here, I fucking partially tore the pec.
And again, Sam's supporting the fact that he nearly tore tore his pec with this movement. That doesn't surprise me because he's moving the load from A to B in his warm-up and his feeler sets. And this guy's got a lot of weight on the bar. And when you're moving the load from A to B with no real time under tension, no accuracy, no real thought process of what's happening with the muscles. Well, let's break it down. What is happening? In the eccentric portion, you're taking the muscle through the lengthened environment. So that's why I always like to be very direct with my tempo cues. So if you're going to do a 3-second eccentric, 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to bounce out of that, you're taking the chest fibers right through the lengthened and then straight into the shortened. That's where spasms, tear, pulls are going to occur. So how do you prevent that? Okay, you add a safety measure, which is a pausing. And I always like either a 0.5 or a 1 second pause here. So it's a 3-second eccentric, 1 second pause, you're separating that lengthening position, then you're into the shorten on the concentric. And it's about actually thinking, what am I actually using muscle-wise here to move this load? And it looks like Sam's not giving it that much thought. He's just moving the load from A to B, and he's moving a shit ton of load. So there's gonna be some damage here, but in terms of maximizing hypertrophy with tension, there's definitely rooms to improve here. I mean, if I was reviewing his form clips, I'd be giving him a pretty rough time as a client, that is for sure. So let's see his top set. He's got a spot. Not sure what that guy's gonna do though. He's built like a toothpick. It's a good set. Again, tempo could be better. I don't think there's any question about his intensity here. This guy likes to train hard. But there's definitely refinements that we could provide to Sam's training. One, just being tempo. Control that load a little bit more. It's all good and well lifting what looks like 150 kilogram here on the bar, but he could probably drop this to 130 kg and get more bang for his buck, more time under tension, more stress, more damage, driving a bigger hypertrophic response, which in turn is going to lead to more muscle. So some feedback to Sam here from Coach Mode Ben would be very simply drop the load, control it more, and remain composed. This guy's breathing and bracing is so sporadic and he's not remaining composed. The longer you can remain composed within a set, the more accurate it's going to be, the more you're going to get out of it. This is like a game of chess. That's what hypertrophy is. It's a game of fucking chess. How good can you play? When to make the right move versus when not to. And at the minute, we could get a lot more out of this. His joints are going to be hurting, central nervous system's going to be on its ass, and yeah, there's a lot of improvements to this. Other than, I would say the benefits is his intensity is his top draw. And here's his back off set, which is 3 plates. Got 4 reps, 5 reps, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's gonna get another 2. 11. There's one more there. He goes for it. Drive. 12. No. And he needs to rack it. Ooh, fuck me. I've never, ever seen that. The way he dismantled that, fair fucking play. But I nearly jumped away from the camera, but I need to watch that again. He fucking throws 140 kilogram like it's nothing. Yeah, he gained brownie points for that. That's impressive. But again, to viewers, please do not do that, especially in a commercial gym or any bodybuilding gym, because you're gonna get kicked the fuck out and you're not gonna get let back in. Your membership's gonna get revoked. But this guy's got 2 million followers or whatever the hell he's got. Probably 20 million now. 3 million subscribers on YouTube. He can do what the fuck he wants, but don't do that. So we've seen how he trains chest. Definitely room for improvement. Now let's see how he trains legs.
Okay, so I played around on the laying hamstring curl while I waited for the seated hamstring curl to open up.
So we've got the hamstring curl up first. The pressure's on because this is one of the most common exercises that I see misperformed. So it's seated, which is going to help. It keeps his hips locked in. The main aim of this really is to ensure the gap between your back and your glutes is filled and there's no room for momentum. And the big emphasis is ensuring that you drive your heels into your hamstrings and drag them, and spending a real second in that shortened position. So the setup looks good initially. I mean, I'm not sure what the fuck he's doing now, but looks like he's having a shit. So for me, it started well. I know why he's using his arm as a lever. It's to prevent any momentum. But if you look every time he contracts, his hips lift up. So we'll show you. Contracts, hips lift. Contracts, hips lift. So what is happening there is he's using momentum to get short. And every time his hips lift up, it's limiting his ability to get his hamstring within the shortened environment. He hit some partials, which is always good, taxing his hamstring in the shortened environment in the lengthened. I'm not sure what he's doing now. There's a lot to say, and a lot of it is not positive. A very strange set. I've seen a lot of hamstring curls performed a lot better. There's just so much emphasis on the load again here. He needs to strip it back and focus on the range of motion, which is taking the hamstring through the full range, into the shortened, into the lengthened, and controlling both parts of that movement. All I'm seeing there is 3 reps short, and the rest of it is like horrendous work. I don't want to slander him too much, but it's not great work. If you're looking at that set and you want to learn from it, you're learning sweet FA. Other than how not to do a seated hamstring curl. So we've given him 2 chances and he's blown both. Chest and legs out of the water. If I was coaching him, the feedback would have been negative to both. And I think we're seeing a recurring theme, but we're going to give him one more chance. Let's take a look at his back there. Jesus Christ, yeah. I mean, if this was a video of how not to execute a lat pull down, he's passing with flying colours. There's momentum, the shoulders out. I mean, the elbows are getting nowhere near the lats. The stack's doing this movement halfway up, halfway down. So let's break it down. Let's rewind it. If we're looking at hypertrophy, which starts at rep 6, that's what Sam's doing here. He's not a power lifter. See how many reps he actually gets that are effective. I mean, the first one didn't look great.
That'll get me going. Sort of shit around.
So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Didn't get that one short. So hypertrophy starts at rep 6 and he just gets 6 reps there. So in terms of effectiveness, not very effective at all. If we break down the anatomy at the back, right, what we're trying to look at here is he's hitting his upper lats. The main aim of the game is to have a slight arch in your chest and it's to drive your elbows down in to your lats. Pretty much like this. So a straight bar, you're coming down and in. That's going to allow you to get the muscle short. When you then come to lengthen, the last thing you want to do is open your shoulders out like this. And that's what Sam does. Because what that's going to do is take the tension directly off the lats and it's going to put you into a position where the tension's off completely. So Sam doesn't get it fully short and he overextends and lengthens too much to the point where the tension's actually off his lats. So it's a perfect example, this, of how not to do a lat pull down. This guy's got a pretty big back, but this is doing sweet FA for his back. He's probably coming off of this with pumped biceps, pumped forearms, and very little blood flow to his lats. So there's a recurring theme. Sam Sulek likes to shift a load from A to B. He doesn't give a fuck how he does that, what he uses to do that. He just uses as much grit and aggression as possible to shift that weight. And that weight doesn't move from A to B fully. He's moving it from A a little bit past A. He's not quite getting to B. So in terms of refinements of his training, I'd have a field day with him. I'd be able to strip the load back and say, right, okay, you might be stronger than me, Sam, but let's actually see how accurate you are. And let's see how you can drive that intensity with accuracy, because then you're going to maximize the work that you're doing within the gym. And as a byproduct of that, he's probably going to grow a lot more. So clearly you can see that our training methodologies are very, very different, but Sam's a pretty big guy. Let's take a look at his physique.
This may not be
This guy's big as fuck. Fuck me.
Yeah, whatever.
He's lean. He's well proportioned. This guy's eating 200 gram of fat and he's got veins bigger than my biceps through his fucking arms. That's one of the most impressive bodybuilding physiques of a 21 to 22 year old that I have ever seen. That guy's huge. He's jacked. Whatever the fuck he's doing well. So to summarize, I think we can agree that Sam's training and Sam's nutrition can be refined. But one thing that I will say is in terms of his training intensity, it's absolutely phenomenal. 12 out of 10. Like, this guy goes into the gym, he trains hard, he sends it. Sam's clearly a guy who goes into the gym, he rips and lifts weights, and he enjoys the process. And I think a lot of guys should learn from that. They should also learn that Sam's not 1%. Okay, he hits 5,700 calories a day, he might overspill on his fats, he might overspill on his proteins and his carbs, but don't be the opposite guy of that, who's scared to eat away from the plan, who's scared too much to move away from their training program, and zaps that enjoyment out of the journey, because then you're not going to enjoy it. And when you don't enjoy something, it's not sustainable. Sam's a prime example and a walking example of somebody who loves and obsesses over the journey, but doesn't focus on the 1%. And he still looks how he does, and he still has the impact on the industry that he does. So learn from that and take something from it. Sam's a great example, but what I've done in today's video is just give him some basic tips to help him improve even further. And if he refines them, I don't doubt that he'll make even more progress. And that's it for today's video. Something a little bit different with the content. Don't hesitate to comment who you want to see next. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.